Hey, we're back at the top again today on the road to Pokemon Sun and Moon, and we're still in week 22. Of course, this bit of news that I'm letting you know about happened a few days ago, but I wanted to bring it to your attention on the day of the Pokemon Sun and Moon gameplay at E3, because I didn't kind of think it warranted it, in my opinion. But what am I talking about? Yes, I'm talking about the Zygarde forms that we all knew about via the anime and the announcement way back in September of last year's Koro. So we've kind of known about this for a while now. We didn't know if they were going to be in the games or not. Everybody was assuming it was going to be Pokemon Z, but it ended up being Pokemon Sun and Moon, so that kind of left these Zygarde forms up in the air, like, are they going to be in the games? And a few days ago, they were confirmed. And how these are going to play a role in the games is unknown. But of course, we'll go over this. First up, these are going to be screenshots, because of course, there's a few PokeTubers that had issues with the copyright, so I ain't going to play around with that. But like I said, first we have Zygarde 10% form, Zygarde-Dog, who is most likely going to be fast. You know, it looks fast. It might not be powerful, maybe base 80 attack, maybe base 80 special attack, I don't know. But then we have 1,000 arrows. It's using 1,000 arrows. Everybody thought that there was going to be two forms of Zygarde, one like Zygarde X and Zygarde Y, and they'd get these two moves because we have 1,000 arrows and 1,000 waves. But you see a Zygarde-Dog going for 1,000 arrows. Now, how does this play in a role? Because if you look at Zygarde, Zygarde-Dog, 1,000 arrows though. Let me just explain 1,000 arrows first, because it's a ground type move that can damage flying type Pokemon. Pokemon with Levitate, or holding the air balloon, or Magnetize, or Telekinesis. Anything that's off the ground gets hit by 1,000 arrows. Something that the green arrow cannot do. So it's going to be interesting with how fast this thing, because I'm expecting this thing to be a fast little bugger. Even though it's not a bug, it's a dog. But it's also revealing 1,000 waves. So it has the ability to use both moves, and what 1,000 Waves does is it's a damage dealing ground type move, and I do believe it's kind of like a damaging block or damaging mean look. So that's very interesting, because you can trap people in there, but also do damage to them. It's very interesting. But what we also have revealed is the 100%, the perfect form of Zygarde, and it only happens when Zygarde-Dog is in a pinch. So if this thing, let me just put it this way, if this thing is a Focus Sash, if Zygarde-Dog is a Focus Sash, and then what you do is you get to the Focus Sash, you hope that the other team doesn't have priority, of course, but then you go into Zygarde's perfect form, which kind of leads me to think, I was hoping Zygarde-Dog would just be like, oh, you, nice little speedy attacker, but now I'm thinking it might just be banned outright, because if Zygarde-Dog's ability make it so it jumps up to Zygarde complete form, that's the actual name, then Zygarde-Dog will just be banned outright, because then that just doesn't make any sense. But what's the connection between Zygarde-Dog and Zygarde 50%? You never know. But we see this attack called Core Enforcer, which is a dragon type. Dropping that Z, there's our Pokemon Z that we were looking for. But it's most likely dragon type because it had the super effective sound when it arrived. Nothing else is really known about that. But one little stat to note about Zygarde perfect form, and I'll read it out from this is from Smogon, from, I think, if I'm reading this correctly, Sin Pi from Smogon. The base HP value possibilities for the forms. I'll just be reading this word for word. Quote, so there's been a lot of speculation on the base HP of Zygarde forms. Based on my calculations using Smogon's own damage calculator and adjusting the base HP to fiddle around, 10% form has 125 max HP at level 50, so it's between 50 and 65 base HP depending on IVs, assuming no IV investment. If full 252 EVs investment, it is between 18 and 34 base HP. Complete form has 287 max HP, so it is between 212 and 227 base HP. If full investment, it's between 180 and 196 base HP. Personally, I think 10% form will have 54 base HP, and complete form will have 216 base HP. Why? Because 54 times 2 equals 216 divided by 2 equals 108. Which is the base HP of 50% form, the one currently released. This means that the Zygarde shown is 22 IVs and 0 EVs investment, and this checks out with what the calc gives. Of course, you just saw, I'm just going to drop a screenshot of that, so it's not me just reading it out loud while you look at my seashell background, Scalchop background, but the question is, how does this play a role in Pokemon Sun and Moon? if I didn't mention already, you have to remember this. There's a lot of alchemy hints in Pokemon Sun and Moon so far, with the starters and all that, but more or less that Sun and Moon are alchemy symbols of Gold and Silver. And what happened in Gold and Silver? We got to go back to Kanto. So, do we go back to Kalos? Only time will tell. Of course, I've got a lot more videos for you today because we have the gameplay footage of Pokemon Sun and Moon at E3. So if you want to check that out, go sit back and hit the subscribe button to be notified once that comes out immediately, so I can give my thoughts and opinions and just to let you know whatever happened if you don't have time to check out E3. So also, if you want to join me on this wild ride, because we have a total of 22 more weeks until Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that's 22 more stops on the road to Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't know how many times I'm going to say Pokemon Sun and Moon, but hey, that's just me being hyped. So go ahead and drop a like down below if you enjoyed this Zygarde update, and I will see you back at the top as we continue week 22 later on today, because that is how you do it. I got a hanger around my neck because I'm going crazy with Mega Kangaskhan. I mean, this is night on anyway. I just be like, whoosh, deal with it, and just walk around like a scumbag wearing shades at night, running into all the lampposts.